divest,
奪う、剥ぎ取る。
Under the New Deal, the company agreed to divest itself of half its revenues so they could distribute it among their creditors. Divinity,
神格、神学。
the divinity of Hercules is evident in the ancient myths told about him throughout time. Divisive,
不和を生じる、区分する。
the divisive proposal split the committee into two opposing sides. Divulge,
暴く、明かす。
doctors must be careful not to divulge confidential information about their patients. Doctrinaire,
非現実的な、空論的な。
his doctrinaire attitude turned off others as he attempted to force his personal beliefs. Document,
文書で証明する、書類を提供する。
the study documents various aspects of Indian life in this period. Doff,
脱ぐ、帽子を取る。
he doffed his hat as they went by. Dogged,
頑固な、根気強い。
even though John was miles behind the other runners, his dogged determination would not let him quit the race. Doggerel,
教師、下手な歌。
my professor called my poetry collection doggerel and gave me a failing grade on the project. Dogmatic,
独断的な、競技場の。
the preacher was a dogmatic individual who was quick to argue with anyone who challenged his opinion. Dormant,
休止中の、眠っている。
since the volcano is dormant right now, you do not have to be concerned about it erupting. Doting,
溺愛する。
we saw photographs of the doting father with a baby on his knee. Dovetail,
ぴったりはまる、適合する。
we've tried to dovetail our plans with theirs. Downplay,
重視しない、軽く見る。
some politicians continue to downplay the seriousness of the virus, even though scientists are clear that it might lead to a nationwide pandemic. Doyen,
古参者、第一人者。
the doyen of the group joined the Boy Scouts of America before any of the other current members did. Draconian,
厳格な、厳しい。
the book is based on the true story of a 17th century draconian ruler who brutally killed anyone who disagreed with him. Droll,
ひょうきんな、おどけた。
I love this anthology because all the stories are droll and entertaining, rather than making me think too hard. Droplet,
小滴、しぶき。
the virus is primarily transmitted between people through respiratory droplets and contact routes. Dross,
不純物、クズ。
the documentary was dross and taught me nothing new about our current president. Dubious,
半信半疑の、疑わしい。
the firm was accused of dubious accounting practices. Dulcet,
耳に心よい、美しい。
it does not take long for the baby to be comforted by his mother's dulcet singing. Dull,
呪い、はっきりしない。
we could just see a dull glow given off by the fire's last embers. Dupe,
騙す、担ぐ。
my brother is a schemer who is always trying to dupe people out of their money. Duplicity,
二枚舌、不誠実。
most politicians use duplicity to deceive voters just long enough to get their votes. Dwarf,
小さくする、発達を妨げる。
the new skyscraper will dwarf all those near it. Dwindle,
だんだん減少する、衰える。
as the number of workers began to dwindle because of the cutbacks, the workload of each person became intolerable. Dynamism,
活力、力強さ。
the freshness and dynamism of her approach was welcomed by all her students. Dynamo,
発電機、活動的な人。
the marketing dynamo was able to push the company's new product to the toughest critics. Dyspeptic,
不機嫌な、消化不良の。
the dyspeptic man could not determine if he was happy or sad. Dystopia,
暗黒鏡、地獄里。
the novel was set in an unfair society called a dystopia. Earnest,
真面目な、熱心な。
the girl's earnest effort counterbalanced her slowness at learning. Earthy,
素朴な、現実的な。
the stairs are decorated in golds and earthy browns. Ebullient,
熱意のある、元気のいい。
the ebullient song was so uplifting that I danced in my chair. Eccentric,
常軌を逸した、風変わりな。
the old lady has some eccentric habits. Echelon,
レベル、階層。
the prominent college ranks among the top echelon of schools in the nation. Eclectic.
取捨選択する、折衷的な。
The restaurant's menu was eclectic and included foods from a number of ethnic groups and cultures. Eclipse.
覆い隠す、暗くする。
The economy has eclipsed all other issues during this election campaign. Edify.
啓発する、強化する。
Travel is an edifying experience, especially for young people. Editorial.
社説、論説。
The newspaper editorial defamed the politician who often used duplicity. Effervescent.
活気のある、発泡性の。
The teacher called her personality effervescent because she was extremely bubbly. Effete.
衰えた、活力を失った。
During the Middle Ages, Greek civilization declined and became effete. Efficacious.
効果的な、有効な。
Because my medicine is very efficacious, I expect to feel better soon. Efficacy.
効き目、効果。
Fortunately, the new medicine verified the efficacy to reduce the amount of pain. Effigy.
肖像、彫像。
As soon as the citizens learned their brutal leader was dead, they burned an effigy of his image. Effrontery.
ずうずうしさ、厚かましさ。
I was shocked that she had the effrontery to ask me for more money. Effusive.
噴出する、感情を表す。
She was effusive in her praise of the judges who awarded her the trophy. Egotistical.
利己的な、自己中心的な。
He doesn't have many friends due to his egotistical personality keeping them away. Egregious.
実にひどい、目に余る。
Even though he was told to be quiet in church, he was still egregious by talking loudly during the sermon. Egress.
出口、外へ出ること。
I had a panic attack in the haunted house when I could not find an egress leading to the outside. Elegy.
愛歌、喜歌。
Since I am not an animal lover, I could only sigh as she sang an elegy for her dead cat. Elicit.
引き出す、誘い出す。
The comedian hoped his jokes would elicit a great deal of laughter from the audience. Elixir.
万能薬、霊薬。
The salesman was selling an elixir that he said would protect us all from the plague. Eloquent.
雄弁な、感銘を与える。
The defense lawyer made an eloquent plea for his client's acquittal. Elucidate.
解明する、明らかにする。
The aim of the report is to elucidate the main points of the new regulations. Elision.
幸福の、喜びに満ちた。
We spent 3 Elysian weeks at Barbados away from work for summer vacation. Emaciated.
やつれた、衰えた。
Because some sick animals refuse to eat, many of them become emaciated. Embed.
埋め込む、固定する。
The long pole was embedded in cement. Embellish.
装飾する、粉飾する。
Because Marco has always had a tendency to embellish the truth, no one believed he had been mugged. Embrace.
抱擁する、包含する。
The two children began to embrace and hug each other before saying goodbye. Embroil.
巻き込む、巻き添えにする。
I avoided my 2 best friends for a little while because I did not want to get embroiled in their dispute. Eminence.
高位、高台。
Taylor Swift's eminence as a creative singer and style icon make her one of the most well-known celebrities in the world. Emollient.
和らげる、柔らかくする。
Almond oil is renowned for its soothing, emollient properties. Empathy.
感情移入、共感。
Because her parents immigrated to the United States to give her a better life, Maria has empathy for illegal aliens. Empirical.
実験の、経験の。
Our data is based on empirical evidence collected in numerous studies. Emulate.
真似る、競う。
The boy would emulate his father's morning routine from reading the newspaper to sipping coffee. Enamor.
魅了する、心を奪う。
The dancer will use her skillful moves to enamor the judging panel. Encomium.
賛辞、絶賛。
He pronounced a splendid encomium on her in the forum. Endearing.
人に好かれる、心を引きつける。
At the beginning of their relationship, the enamored teens would write endearing love notes to each other every day. Endemic.
地方特有の、風土の。
The poisonous snake must have come from another country because it is not endemic to our nation. Endorse.
裏に書く、是認する。
If the president chooses to endorse the politician, he will lose many supporters who oppose the legislator. Enervate.
気力を奪う、体力を失う。
The alcohol appeared to enervate your ability to focus at work. Engender.
生じる、起こさせる。
The restaurant hoped the act of giving out free ice cream would engender customer loyalty. Enigmatic.
不可解な、謎の。
When I was growing up, I viewed my father as an enigmatic man who rarely spent time with me. Enormity.
法外さ、極悪。
We cannot imagine the enormity of the torture our captured soldiers have endured. Enrage.
怒らせる、憤慨させる。
Plans to build a new baseball park may enrage the nearby homeowners with traffic and noise concerns. Enrapture.
有頂天にさせる、うっとりさせる。
I was so enraptured when I walked down the aisle with my father while the other waits at the altar. Enshrine.
正式に述べる、大事にする。
The concept of individual liberty is enshrined in the Constitution. Enthrall.
心を奪う、魅了する。
I was completely enthralled by the handsome actor. Entitlement.
資格、権利。
The paid holiday entitlement is 25 days under the new policy. Entomology.
昆虫学。
Since I'm not into insects, I'm not looking forward to taking the entomology class in this semester. Entreat.
懇願する、嘆願する。
I entreat you to donate some time tomorrow for our neighborhood cleanup program. Enumerate.
数え上げる、列挙する。
Before the judge began to enumerate the charges against him, he asked to speak privately with the prosecutor. Enunciate.
明確に述べる、宣言する。
The speech coach reminded the students to enunciate their words so people could comprehend what they were saying. Ephemeral.
束の間の、短命な。
Ephemeral art painted on the sidewalks will wash away when it rains. Epicure.
美食家、グルメ通り。
My uncle is an epicure who will travel across the country to find a tasty dish. Epileptic.
転換の、転換症の。
He was epileptic and refused to take medication for his condition. Epistemology.
認識論。
Genetic epistemology is the science of how knowledge is acquired. Epithet.
悪口、罵り。
The epithet curly is used to describe the big football player with the curly hair. Epitome.
縮図、要約。
Because our mayor is the epitome of good citizen, he has been in office for over 10 years. Equable.
一様な、穏やかな。
Because she is so equable, my even-tempered mother rarely gets upset. Equanimity.
平静、落ち着き。
His equanimity allowed him to keep a clear head and escape the burning building. Equilateral triangle.
正三角形。
An equilateral triangle is a triangle in which all three sides are equal. Equitable.
公平な、公正な。
Both sides agreed to try to find an equitable compromise that would please everyone. Equivocal.
不確かな、曖昧な。
Since the defendant's alibi is equivocal, the jury will disregard it almost instantly. Equivocate.
言葉を濁す、ごまかす。
The courts continue to equivocate as to whether the traditional approach should be maintained. Errant.
道に迷った、さまよう。
She went to Paris to bring back her errant son. Erratic.
常軌を逸した、一貫性のない。
When the police officer saw the man driving in an erratic manner, he pulled him over to question him. Erroneous.
誤った、間違った。
If you have used erroneous statistics in your report, you will have to start over from the beginning. Ersatz.
人工の、代用の。
The art expert quickly recognized the ersatz painting as a fake. Erstwhile.
昔の、以前。
His erstwhile friends turned against him.